Brian Smith. Come on with it. Come on, Brian. No, I'm messing.
Oh, what's going on, Ericka? How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. What you got for us, Brian? You was looking. I know you want to talk.
Listen, I was really thinking about something. So I'm not sure. I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
So as far as the YouTube channel, and I know with the channel, you get a lot of engagement, a lot of interaction. Do you think it's better just to have guests? I know with your channel, you bring a lot of guests on. Or do you think it's better to have an interactive channel? You know, some of the channels that, first of all, they be killing with the super chats. I don't know who has all this money nowadays, but I need to get some of that money.
They got it.
I see. Or is it better to have a channel that's more interactive like that, where you bring just regular audience members up because that gets your message out a little bit more, but then also kind of monetizes you?
Okay, so what is the topic first?
Interesting. I mean, so I have a couple of different businesses, everything from real estate to motivation. So real estate is one of those that it's always a great one, but it's a space that a lot of people are in.
Right. But also, in order to get people engaged in the conversation on real estate, it almost has to be like, I'm not even joking, kickthemtenantsout.com, right? You know, something like these. People like, no, Ericka, you shouldn't be kicking them tenants out. Like, you see how people upset were about that Detroit video? I'm like, Detroit's a zombie town. Get out of here, right? Like, I'm gonna do about 3 more of them. Like, Detroit sucks, right? Because then people come back, you get out of my town, right? So it's engagement, right? So so it depends. Y'all laughing in the chat. I'm telling you, serious. It's sad. It's like people love negative. So what do you feel comfortable talking about? What's your ultimate goal? Who do you want to reach and what do you want to sell? Let's do it that way.
So at the time, I don't want to sell anything just yet. I mean, I want to do what I did in the military, just help folks out.
Listen, all right, Brian, we're gonna have a therapy session. You ready? Are you ready? Listen, I'm serious. I've had to do this for myself. Brian, when you go get a sandwich from the store,
right, and
you pay for it,
right,
is it helping your stomach out?
It is.
When you're hungry, it helps you. Okay.
It is.
When you go to the doctor and you tell them whatever it is the problem and you pay, is it helping you out?
Of course it is. Of course.
Okay. Sometimes in our society, we have this attachment to, I'm giving the game out for free, man. I'm giving them this free game, man. I'm putting people up on the game. Correct. Right? We want to have that, you know what I'm saying? We have that. It's something in you, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I've been in too many masterminds where it says, I want to give it for free. But here's the problem with free. People don't respect free. And here's why. Ultimate people respect more. Hey, you guys, I'm taking time out of my schedule to talk to you about this, and I'd love for you to check out this book. People respect that more because they know at least there's an end point, right? So if you say, hey guys, I want to chop it up with you guys every Friday, right? Let's just say we're gonna name up, hey, this is the Big Sarge channel. Chop it with me on Friday, talking about real estate, all your questions on real estate. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Men gonna come, they're gonna ask questions. There's gonna be somebody in chat be like, how do I get a hold of you on the phone? How do I talk to you? How do I pay for your coaching? How do I pay for your consulting? How do what's my next step? Because ultimately this is, and I've been to too many studies where they show it's a call to action is our natural human design. If I come talk to you, if I chop it up with you, if I'm listening to you, I want to know what's the next step. This ain't just like dating. This is just natural, everybody in their natural life. What's the next step? Right? So Brian, even if you come up with a free ebook to say, hey, this is how you get jumped off in real estate, right? This is how you start off in real estate. There's gonna be somebody who get that free book and they're gonna go, okay, man, what's the next step? So I want you to take away from what I'm saying that I'm out here providing next level coaching for people who really are serious about real estate, who really need my help, hand hold it down the road, for real estate. Does that make sense?
It does. It does 100%. And once again,
It's internal, I promise you. And it may not make sense right now while I'm saying it. You may have to think on it a little bit later, but it's something internal that we say, like, I'm trying to help the community, right? Or whatever it is. I'm trying to help the next man. You'll build community faster and more respected if you have a here's the bar or the standard, right? Let's just say I have a Facebook group for $5, right? That's what you tell them. Hey, come over here and chop it up with me. You're going to have more men pay to be in that Facebook group to chop it up because they are feeling like they have paid a cost to help you make content to connect with you. That's all super chats are, really. I want to be like, they've studied this. Why are people super chatting us? Because they want to donate to the person they're watching. They enjoy the conversation. And that's their form of appreciation. They can't hug you. It's on the internet. They can't dap your hand. That's on the internet.
Right.
So don't block the flow of what people are trying to do at their next level. Right. So let's go back again. Big Sarge, what are you ultimately trying to do? What are you
ultimately I'm trying to do is provide leadership and motivation.
Boom.
I know. Listen, I know we just spoke about real estate. I know.
There you go. All right. No, that's what we're getting to. We're getting to the real. Go ahead.
Leadership and motivation after 22 years of being in the Air Force and have led so many people and groomed them. And I see where they are now. And once again, it's always one of those things where it comes back to when you really pour into people and you see where they get to, and when they generally come back and thank you and sit down in your office, or they call you up or email you, even when they've moved on to another base, another supervisor, they say, listen, hands down, you was the best one I've had. You made sure to honestly look out for my career. So for myself, it's one of those things that
it's fulfillment.
Yes, I would do the real estate podcast for free, 100%. But if I had to charge for something, it would definitely be for the knowledge that I've gained over the last 22 years of being in the United States Air Force.
Okay, boom. Now we back to your real. Let's get to the real. So you said, hey, motivation and leadership. What would be so wrong with creating a book or workbook that's $10 that gives a young man's guide to motivation and leadership in 21st century? How to navigate manhood today in today's society? What would be so wrong about that?
You know what? I don't think anything would be wrong about that. Not at all. Not at all.
Now that young man has this book, he can be in a free Facebook group, talk to other men, young men, or it could be older men. You know how it be out here. Some of these people are struggling. It is what it is. They're struggling. No problem in that. And they get to have that skin in the game. Look, somebody already said it. Skin in the game. Your personal drill sergeant. Come on. You know what we're saying is true. You know what we saying is true. Come on. Big Sarge, and it makes that man feel good because he may not have a lot of money, but he gave you his $5 for that book.
Right.
He in the group now.
Right.
He'll hold that book up and take a picture, testimonial. He'll hold that book up and take a picture and send it on Instagram.
Right.
Come on now.
Okay. I mean, makes sense.
You robbing somebody of their place in community. Do you get what I'm saying?
Ericka,
you robbing them
in that game.
But that's what I'm saying. You robbing them.
There.
You robbing them of their sense of community. They want to have a sense of community. They want to put some dollars in your pocket, and they want to connect with other people. You could literally go all around the Southeast and be like, meet Big Sarge. Big Sarge Real Talk conferences.
I like that. Big Sarge Real Talk. Nice.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't rob people of it because it's an internal thing. And ultimately, we all want to help people. Let's not get it twisted. Courtney's helping investors. Alicia's helping married couples stay married. That's right, Jocko Willis. You know, everybody in here, if you name off ultimately what they're doing, they are helping somebody. Witherspoon's helping pregnant ladies, right? There's one lady that was Angela was the nurse helping people lose weight. We are all helping people. There's nothing wrong with being compensated for your time or even allowing the flow of abundance in that. It's just the abundance vortex. You want to give because your cup is full, right?
Correct.
So we're not saying you're going to be a millionaire overnight off this. You could, but give men the opportunity, or women, or whoever follows underneath the Big Sarge tent, so that they can feel involved. They can feel a part of. Right? Because you probably right now, if I asked you to pull out a sheet of paper, what's the top 18 questions you got while in the military? I bet they all leadership and motivational related.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
That's literally your book. Whether you are ready to admit it to yourself or not. It is. That's all I'm saying. Like whether you were ready in here or not, internal or all these things have matched up, it's there. So let's say you even write down those top 18 questions. You do 18 videos in a row on them topics, just one topic at a time. You fill up your SEO, you fill up the description. I promise you, they're gonna be young men like, man, this is great stuff. What do they do next though? That's the natural inclination of people. It's a call to action. It's what do I do next, coach? What do I do next, Big Sarge? What do I do next? What's my next step?
We just so used to sitting down. Because once again, in the military, that's what we do. We take people from wherever you came from to wherever you should be, because you have people who are 21, 22 who are leading people who are 17, 18, and 19. So just before this conversation, just my natural reaction is, listen, we do that for free all day, every day, because this isn't Walmart. We build them so that way they can build others.
And we still building them. We not for $5. We ain't hurt them. We ain't breaking ankles at $5 now. I'm just saying $5 to make you feel better. Because let's get it twisted. I've been inside groups where people spent $7,000 to be there, and they skipped over all the low price stuff because they like, I got to get to where the exact stuff is, like the gyms. I sat in there with somebody at a credit convention. They paid $7,000 to be there. They didn't even know nothing about credit. You understand what I'm saying? So don't rob people of the opportunity to say, I want to put $10 on this. This is good. Do you know how many times people cash at me during the live videos because they don't know how to work the super chat? Girl, I don't know how to work this super chat. Here's a cash app. You were like, thank you.
Nice.
So don't rob people of the opportunity. They get to feel involved, and they get to feel like, okay, I'm a part of this group. That's why there's a Black man. He has a journal called Heal Yourself, Bro, or something like that. It's just a journal, and it has some talking points in between of it, but people buy it like crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a journal. It's just a journal. It lets people have guidance, and people need it out here. Stop playing. People need it out here.
Oh, listen, it's the difference between civilian life and military life.
Listen, I tell people to this day, I'm like, because I grew up with 2 military parents and a family surrounded by cops and military, when I see young people doing stuff, I be like, oh, who raised you? What's going on?
Right.
What happened, baby? Something happened.
Right.
So people generally know when something's dysfunctional, and they know when something's functional. Right? They know Big Sarge, Brian Smith, however you want to label the brand. They know Big Sarge ain't lying to them. That's really how I go. Right? Absolutely. This is my opinion from 22 years in the block service. Right? And throw up some photos where you buff. People be right out the just juiced up military strong. Put some pictures of that up there.
Right.
That's all Jocko Willis and what's his name? What's the skinny guy that Loggins lost all that weight?
David Goggins.
His book called You Can't Hurt Me. That's the #1 book in every white dude I've ever met. Girl, you ever read this book, man? Read this book, man. I'd be like, why am I reading this book? Ain't nobody hurting me. What's going on? Right? So you don't know who you're speaking to, but people are going to gravitate to that. There is a very big need now, and not just our community, but like all communities. What people forget is like 25% of white women are out of wedlock births too. So you're talking about millions. You're not talking about a few thousands. You're talking about millions of young men, millions needing guidance.
And it's funny too, because I was at the BX today and I was picking up little things to make sure I have a nice little background in the background, because I don't know why, but a lot of people really pay attention to the background nowadays.
Listen, they judge you bad. Look, they be like, Ericka, what's going on? What's going on your counter? You'd be like, why are you not paying attention to the video?
Right. They're not paying attention to anything but the background.
So if I were you, I'd probably put like my little military stuff behind me. Some kind of like, orient. Just build a bookcase.
The drill sergeant hat on the way.
You already know how people are.
Pick that up. I got every branch of service I'm gonna hang on the back wall so that way no one feels excluded. So that way when I start having those conversations, they see, it's about everybody.
Right. And so the biggest thing is, if I were you, I'd pull out a sheet of paper. I'd start with those top 18 questions. that I get all the time. And then I would go from there with, you got to blend it a little bit. When it comes to YouTube, you know, my YouTube class, like that's how I tell my students, you got to have evergreen content and trendy content. So what is evergreen? Evergreen is 18 things every man at 18 should know. 18 things, 21 things every man at 21 should know. 10 things a man at 30 should know, right? Or how did I get discipline from being in the service? What do I see out here? Evergreen stuff that, and still give people that, okay, what do I need to do if I want to join the military late in life? Here's my opinion. Why here's why I think it's okay to join the military right before you turn 40. You're gonna run with the young ones, but you're gonna be in there, right? So it's just like centeredness, mindfulness. It's very important topics. So that's your evergreen stuff. Your trendy stuff is when you see the news, when you see somebody do something silly, you go ahead and pop up that YouTube video, make that title, tagline, why I think the baby needs male leadership or something. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, something that you can talk on confidently. Why I think this needs to happen.
I was recruited for 5 years, so I've seen it all come through the door. How
to reach more young men doing this, right?
That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that. I got the pen and paper right here.
Listen, I'm telling you, most of y'all, everything y'all are thinking is already up here. You just got to get it to the paper. I'm a big believer in journaling because I'm ADHD and I'm like hyper all over the place. If I sit down and write it out, it's going to be there. Like I can't ignore what's on paper. And here I can think about it and forget 2 minutes later, then come back to it. But like on paper, it's there.
I definitely appreciate that. That's a lot of food for thought, definitely. And it costs to go get a sandwich. So yeah.
Listen, Brian, go ahead on that Fiverr. Get that planner ready. Go ahead and send us your YouTube link. We'll be sharing it with the group in the class.
Sounds like a plan.
For sure.